Pleasant good evening to each and everyone in Georgetown, Guyana, the diaspora and elsewhere, friends all. Today's episode is to deal with trust. When someone cannot trust another, or a nation cannot trust another nation, there will be no hope for a peaceful solution in a border dispute or with anything else, as you might be aware what is taking place. We have seen many people shake hands and make an agreement, and they all neglect and walk away from what they have signed about. We see in the UN, we see with America, we see with Israel, Palestine, we see with Maduro and Guyana, president in the Caribbean island. And yet one must ask this question: who to be trusted? You cannot rely on people. We also see, just 2 days ago, what happened in America with the Ukraine president versus American President Donald J. Trump and the Vice President in the Oval Office. Friends, if we cannot trust each other, there will be no peace on earth. We see it in Guyana, the trust between the East Indian and the African descendant. And when one speaks of these things, you become their enemy. Well, I happen to be from Guyana, and I have all the blood in me. And I have a right to speak up for what I see. You can't even trust your wife or your husband, your brothers or your sisters, or your own children. But those are minimized affairs, family. But the bigger picture, when you're dealing with the international community. And I will tell you clearly, we have seen what happened in Ukraine and Russia. We see what happened in Palestine and Israel. And from 1947 and 48 to now, there's no peace in Palestine and Israel. We have seen houses being bulldozed, people being shot at, and in their own country. And they are the one that will be named the terrorists. They are the one who are creating the problem. Depends upon who are looking at it, one knows the truth. Today, with the cameras and the cell phone, you cannot lie. And when you are a nation backing another nation, and you know that they are wrong and still backing them, you are aiding and abetting in crime. You're a part of it. And therefore, how can someone trust you? Let me deal with Ukraine. The president of Ukraine came and met with President Donald J. Trump and the vice president. And I sit and I'm looking at it carefully. Of course, he is in war at the present moment with Russia. Donald J. Trump, the president of America, says he could bring them for a peace treaty and stop the war, which all of us would like to see the war stop, not only between Russia and Ukraine, but between the Palestinian and the Jewish. And in Africa, where there is people fighting one another, and other parts of the world. But we cannot support crime, knowing what we are seeing with our own naked eyes, and then we are killing journalists, killing doctors, blowing up schools, blowing up mosques or churches, and then we are saying that we are right. Where is the trust between human or nation? There's none. I look at the Ukraine president. He came to speak to Donald J. Trump. Fortunately, the vice president was there. It could have been a language barrier. First thing is, it's not the costume the man wears that sends the message. His country is in chaos. It is in war. And everybody says he was a comedian becomes a president. Like Donald J. Trump, a businessman, becomes a politician and he's the president. And therefore, one must learn to understand and hold their tongue sometimes. But it looked like the vice president was the one that was questioning the man more than the president. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not the garment the man wear, it's the message and what he came to do. And it seems it didn't go good and he was asked to leave. He may have a second chance of it, but he's welcome in the European community after that. So we ask a question, how can we trust our own? How? We don't know. Excuse me. I look upon Guyana a few days ago on Facebook. APNU members, some Indian was complaining that the PNC APNU don't trust them because they're Indians and they are not Mr. Prasad. It's alleged. I'm going to use alleged. I always forget what y'all say. Now, Indians should know from the exception, the PNC started up with Burnham in a bad way. What happened in the 60s with the Highlanders, what they have done to the Indians, and under Burnham leadership, what Indians went through with other races and the Amerindian, the people of the mainland. Friends, it's a shame. So all the Indians who joined the PNC at the time, you should know that you was not being trusted. And even though when APNU formed and come about with AFC after fooling the country or fooling the coolie with Mr. Ramjatang and Nagamutu and others, the PNC was very happy to have such a relation. But did they trust each other? No. That is like a cat and a mouse. No one trusts one another here, or a snake and a mongoose. Friends, today in Guyana, even if you join the PPP, being a black person, they don't trust you neither, given the history of the country from the 60s right the way through by the time Burnham government was ruling. And every time there's an election, you, the black people who support the PNC or APNU, quick to get in confrontation, beating people, tearing up their poster, and doing all kind of things. So how could people trust you? But I got a message for both ways. Guyana is not Africa, and it is not India. It's an Amerindian country. And no politician in Guyana between Indian and blacks are concerned about the masses, the people. Y'all use them and abuse them. So I call upon all Guyanese, patriotic Guyanese, Indian and black, not the others, to unite and let's form a national front government. A government that will take care of the interests of the nation. And every man shall have land to build house and money to build it, but the law is going to be strong. If your thief cut your hands out, if you lie to put people in trouble, take your tongue out your mouth or the whole head. Y'all might sound crazy, but that might be the only thing that we're going to start to trust each other when we start to do that. And if you kill a person innocently, and the man or woman you kill wrongfully, let us assume they're 20 years of age. Once they get you, they have to kill 20 of your family for that one for every year. Because you didn't make life, you should take it. I believe in that. If you lie and put a man in prison wrongfully, and the judge is aware that she was wrong or the magistrate, they don't need to breathe the air that honest living human being are enjoying. Because when you lock up an innocent man, he can die with a heart attack. He could die in prison. Like what you all done, locking up innocent people, and both parties have done it. Both race. Friends, no crime shall go unpaid. From Burnham time even on to now. Imagine, you got Mr. Muhammad, a man who been accused for tax invasion, tax not paying on vehicle bringing, it's alleged, according to some members of the ruling party or the opposition, it's alleged. But why these things coming up now, and they know all of that, and he wasn't arrested and charged before if it was proved? That's why I'm going to keep on and say it's alleged and not a pledge. Politicians. The PPP used the members and turn back and turn a deaf ears and a blind eye. They're ungrateful. The PNC do the same. And whether you black and join the PPP, they don't trust you. You're in there with the PNC, they still don't trust you. There's no loyalty there. That is why I say draw the line. Form a national front government. We don't need members of the PNC or APNU to rule us as a black person, nor members of the PPPC to rule us as an Indian or a black person. We need a national front government where an Amerindian man or woman will be the leader of the country, and followed by the mixed race, the Portuguese and Chinese, then the Indian and the black, and the whole code system will have to change. The police force will have to be a mixed race, same the military. And that is what will be able to put Guyana forward. And every man who was in Parliament and is in Parliament must have a lie detector test to prove whether they were honest to the nation or they were just lying or full in their pocket, taking care of friends and family. And every crime that was committed during the time of them in government or opposition, all must be tried for the crime if they was in office at the time and do nothing. A young man shot his wife over a dispute of argument. Maybe he was wrong. But that is not the only crime. I seen Miss Celeste, Miss Broom come out and speak about it, and she was always doing a wonderful job, taking prostitutes out of her house and wherever they had them, it's alleged. And yes, she deserves to speak. But it also must not be a one-sided affair. When the blacks do the thing, come out and speak out. When the Indians do it, come out and speak out. Look what happened to the Amerindian people up in Madhya or wherever, in the dorm. How much of them lost their life? Look how many young black boys lose their life. How many Indians lose their life and women. But we pick and choose which one to use to try. And once the political circle got hands in it, and you are not a part of one of them, you shall feel the tip of the sword. Is that fair? Ladies and gentlemen, that is why we want a national front government. Take Venezuela, approaching Guyana waters and threatening the oil company to move that ship. When those disputes were signed in the 18th century and even 19th century. But Venezuela being a bigger nation, a more powerful military, who's loyal to Venezuela, not Maduro, to compare with those in Guyana who is only loyal to one race and one race only. And not only that, they don't even have the right machinery, ammunition to do their job. But I want to ask some question here. Which Guyanese living on the Essequibo coast will stand up to fight Venezuela? First, to begin with, Venezuela give a lot of Guyanese land to build house during a few years ago under Hugo Chavez. Free water, free light. And in Guyana, they couldn't get a piece of land. Even the pay, they got to wait and still can't get it. So who you think they will fight for? Mr. Ali, Barrett, and Mr. Norton? Plus, for those who you locked up wrongfully, beat them, strip them naked and beat them. Who you think they're going to fight for? You? You got something coming, man. You got something coming. All the innocent people that they rob their land, take it away for friends and family and corrupt judges and magistrates. Who you think they will fight for? There's an old saying, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And the friend of my enemy is my enemy. And nothing lasts forever. That is why Bashir of Syria was overthrown. He ran away to Russia with 150-something billion, they say, it's alleged. Shah ran away, he died with cancer in Egypt. Y'all better listen carefully. Saddam was hanged. The point-faced man from Panama, he was in jail, then they sent him to France and they say he died. Friends, no crime will escape. No crime makers will escape. You could be the biggest killer, drug dealers, the greatest kingpin. Your days are coming. If we will have the PPPC and the PNC, we're up now. We have the same problem over and over. I'm appealing to you, the Guyanese. Unite for national front government. Mr. Mohammed was giving food to schools and building a few houses for a few people. I was made to understand that somebody in the ruling party is alleged, tell he can't do that, he must stop. But I'm looking at Facebook, the president's wife was actually doing the same thing now. If these things are true, then Guyana, wake up. We don't need black people to rule us or Indian. We need the native Indian, the Amerindian, to rule their country, administered by the other 5 races. We tried the black man. It was racism and too many advantage. We tried the Indian, is corruption so high. I think it is higher than the clouds. 2 nations, 2 races. I am calling on Mr. Ali, as a Muslim, as the month of Ramadan. If you believe in honesty and you are honest, hold that Quran and swear that you are the man. Swear in the name of Muhammad and Allah that you didn't break no law. I would ask Barry Jack because his book is Ramayana, the mind raw. It's immature yet. And you nothing. If you believe in the teaching of Jesus and you believe in your God, I want you to hold that Bible and say that you was not involved in any crime. I'm not saying you do, I'm only asking questions. Because you all just turn people things around. But I want you all to know clearly, we all born and we all have to die. And I don't believe he left everything to God. Because God drunk the wall and saved 8. And a pair of everything else. And those things that he saved a pair, then they do nothing. Snake, worms, elephant, lion, jaguar, whatever. Okay? And then his son Jesus came and said, do unto others as you would like them do unto you. I think the son bring a better message than the father they fed up. Right? So I want to tell all of you one thing. If I lie on you, I'll sign. Take everything I got and cut my head off. But if you lie on me, what must I do? Give you champagne, milk and honey, and take your fucking head off too. Y'all will not like that, isn't it? They got an old saying, tupudu is not obia. All right? But the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And the friend of my enemy is my enemy. Now Maduro of Venezuela approaching Guyana. You, Mr. Ali, as President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, you went to the UN and you called for the Panam slave trade and you says the slave trade people, the Panam slavery, must be given reparation. And you also go to England when you've been interviewed by BBC, I think, and you told the European, shut up and let me talk to you. It's alleged. Right? And these are European white people, all in the UN, all over. And you expect them to come to help you when Venezuela ready to take Guyana? If they do that, then it's a slap in your face, because they respect what they done when they give that country, and they made a mistake when they give it to Indian and black people to rule. Because Africa is free for black people. India is free for Indian people. China is free for Chinese. So why y'all are doing this in Guyana, and then the Indian music and y'all don't even know it? The black people is ahead of y'all, out of 200-something thousand. 70 to 80,000 is honorable, decent, humble. The rest is garbage. But they have a way out they could change, because they've been misled by politicians. And in the Indian race, I can't trust my own brother's wife or my aunt, because Indians love to fight each other for wealth and use the obeah man and use criminal activity. Y'all even poison and kill your own to get what you want. Think. Y'all don't trust each other. Amongst the two races, black people have more unity. But again, there's good and bad in both races. Then you're talking, Mr. Ali, for the slave trade. What the Amerindian get 15% out of your mouth from the Far East that they say. Think. Nothing personal. Let's work together for cooperative Guyana with a national front government where everyone will be a part and have land to build a house and 50,000 US per family. Okay? That's my dream. And all crime that was done to innocent people shall reappear. Let's go for it. If you all believe in truth, let's do it. And so far, I rather keep the corrupt party than the racial one. Corruption only have a limitation. Racism is only death. Have a good day, and may God be with all of you. Until peace.